No, we left after the selection show Sunday, traveled up, got in late Sunday night, took the first COVID test, took the next one Monday, sat in our rooms waiting to get cleared. The food got much better, for those of you wondering. The Monday night's dinner was outstanding. Had a steak. They cleared us Monday night. We got in the gym, shot a little bit Monday. Just kind of we made a voluntary shoot around if guys want to get out. They've been sitting in their rooms all day. So the quarantine wasn't too bad. It just lasted till I think about 9 o'clock Monday, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Monday night. And we were able to get in the gym, shoot a little bit. Tuesday, we had a full practice. Today, we have full practice. I thought they've been good. Thought the guys are sharp. We lifted yesterday. So the weight room was great. So far, all the accommodations, everything they've done, what they said they were going to do has been good. Guys have stuck to the quarantine well. I mean, we've got our own floor. We're all on the same floor. We've been managing pretty well. I like where our guys are at. I've had a chance to watch quite a few Iona games. They're good. I mean, talk about winning in March with, experienced guard play. They got two fifth-year seniors. They're both really good, starting at the 1 and 2. We've got a freshman big that's got SEC size, and he's gotten significantly better throughout the course of the year. And then obviously they're coached by Rick Pitino, who's going to do a great job. He's one of the Hall of Fame coach, one of the best coaches in the history of the game. So coaching staff's going to have to make sure we're on top of our game as well. One ironic thing, Keon Ellis' college teammate, who I watched a bunch every time I saw Keon play, is their starting 3-man as well. So we got a little familiarity there. So that's where we're at. Primo, I'm sure I'll get asked about Primo. He is not even really jogging or anything yet. So things are coming. I mean, he's getting better. He feels better every day, but we're not going to rush him into anything. We don't want to. If there's any way him playing could hurt him down the road, we're not going to do that for him. So unless there's significant progress here over the next few days, I don't know that he'll be playing Saturday, but we'll see. I mean, Clark's good. He's got him in rehab all the time, getting stuff done. So he was able to shoot a little bit. He just can't really. It's more like form shooting one spot. He's not really running and jumping or anything yet. So that's where we're at. I'm not sure if there's anything else. You guys think we'll open it up for questions now?
Yep, I got audio now, so I'm good to go. So we'll go ahead and take some questions at this time. Again, if you have a question, just use the raise hand function, and we'll get your question. So let's go ahead and start first with Michael Casagrande.
Yeah. Hey, Nate, just in terms of just the practice setup, the facilities, what's it like? What's it like being around with so many different teams all in the same hotel? What's the dynamics of that situation like for you guys?
Oh, somehow I got muted. It seems like they've got about a fourth the team. I think they got 4 hotels, and 4th of them are in each hotel. So everybody's kind of got their own floor. Texas Tech is right next to our main room. Michigan's next to our main room on the other side. I know both those staffs really well. You don't actually, you just have your meeting rooms in the hotel, and then you walk. It's connected. I haven't been outside since Sunday. I think we've got some scheduled time in this baseball field across the way here. I got to get outside and get some fresh air this afternoon. But you basically walk through, the whatever you call them, the sidewalks that they got them up north all the time where all the snow's at. I don't even know what the
bridges.
There you go, the bridgeway to the convention center. Thanks. And then in the convention center, they've got all kinds of different courts set up. I have no idea how many they have. Like when you're on your court by yourself. There's nobody in there, but you've got your 1 hour and 50 minutes scheduled. And they start the clock, as soon as the clock's supposed to start. And as soon as it's done, you get the balls up. They got to disinfect it. I'm guessing they give 10 minutes disinfecting time. The next team's in. And so we basically had 1 hour and 50 minutes. So so far that's been good. The only, our guys like to shoot at night. So we were able to get in Sunday night, Monday, because I think so many of the teams that got here Monday and wanted to get in the gym right away, they couldn't get us shooting time at night. Our guys are accustomed to getting in the gym every night, shooting on their own. Tonight we do have an hour, so we practiced already like around lunchtime. It was 11:30 to 1:30 our practice slot. So then we'll get back in the gym at 8 o'clock tonight, shoot. We had the weight room yesterday. The weight room was perfect. It was big enough. They had enough racks. Our guys got a good lift in. So far everything's been going well. I mean, I got no complaints really.
Let's go next to John Zener.
Yeah, Nate, Javon Quinterly obviously has a lot to celebrate this season and with that tournament performance, but how did he handle last year in your mind when he and his family and probably you thought that he probably could have, gotten a waiver from the NCAA and not had to sit out?
We were all disappointed. I thought he had as good a case as any. I mean, him and his family got dragged through the mud with that whole thing. I mean, if you look at everything that came out, the court proceedings, they had nothing to do with any of it. They never took any money. They never asked for any. If you knew his parents, they're stand-up people. His dad's a policeman there in New Jersey. Mom's a great lady. What their family went through with stuff that was said that was untrue about him, you would have thought the people on that committee would have showed a little compassion for what the family had been through. I mean, he was committed to go to one place, had to decommit, do the FBI thing, ended up going somewhere else, and it was documented with, him seeing a counselor and everything. I mean, what he went through was not easy mentally. Things didn't go well. He came here. I thought he was going to get the waiver. He didn't get the waiver, appealed it, didn't win on the appeal. Very, very disappointed. His family's disappointed. I mean, you literally go back. He hasn't played a significant game, significant minutes in a significant game since his high school. So he had 2 years where he really wasn't playing any kind of significant minutes. He didn't play that much at Villanova. And you know what? He needed to grow up too. He admitted some of that. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that he could have done better at Villanova. It's a big-time program, and they win national championships, and it's great. I mean, he understood that. He got here. I thought, when we recruited him, we said we were going to go all in to get the waiver, but we also said either way, we're just going to spend the year getting better. If you can get it, great, we'll play you. We could use you. You and Kyra would be great together. If not, let's get you as good as you can possibly get. Sitting out, you'll go against Kyra every single day in practice. Let's make it a win-win. So when he didn't get the waiver, the disappointment was there, and you could see it. I mean, I sat there with him on the conference call and we had to talk to the committee. Like, it was, kind of just talking off the ledge a little bit there, but then we just get back to working and making him better. I think him going against Kyra every day in practice made him a lot better. I mean, you look at how well he guards now. He's a pretty good defensive player where that wasn't being said about him before he got here. So, and then offensively, just brings another pace to the game. I mean, I told our guys, we essentially had 7 starters that, we can't start 7 guys, but we're going to play 7, 8 guys starter minutes, and he's been playing starter minutes, but, he's been great coming off the bench. He gives you a new pace to the game when he comes in. He's making shots. He had about 9 or 10 games in a row there where he shot 50% or higher from 3. If you go back and look those numbers up, I don't know the exact number, but I mean, I think there's 4 guys that had an appropriate amount of attempts in the last decade in the SEC that shot 50% or higher during SEC play. He was one of them. So, I mean, he's had a great year for us. He played great this weekend. I told him too, I said, I thought he got, and again, no tape from Arkansas is a really good player, but I thought Quinterly, and we won the league, his numbers I thought were better. Thought he deserved 6th man of the year, and he didn't get it. And I said, well, that's fine. They didn't want to give you 6th man. Let's just go win tournament MVP because I think you're playing that well right now, and I think you can win it. I told him, going back to my years at Buffalo, I coached 4 different tournament MVPs. 1 as an assistant, 3 as a head coach. So, and we had conference player of the years at Buffalo, and they were never the tournament MVP. It was always somebody else that stepped up. So I kind of said that to him before the tournament. Shoot, he stepped up. I thought he was great. I thought it was great he got it. Herb got player of the year. Him and Petty are first team, Shaq second team. And Quinterly comes in off the bench and gets tournament MVP. I thought it was great for him.
Let's go to Cecil Hurt next.
Coach, there's a point in December, right around the Western Kentucky game, where you're 4-3. You had to sit a couple of guys. Were you 100% confident that they would respond the way that they have, or has that been one of the more rewarding things about this season?
I think, that could have gone. Somehow somebody keeps muting me. Is that you, Aaron?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, that could have gone a number of different ways. I did feel like I had a good enough relationship with both those guys to where, we had a conversation. Those are not easy conversations. With Rojas's deal, it was pretty cut and dry in that one. Now with Petty, what he'd done didn't really warrant the game suspension, except for the fact that we had agreed we were going to hold him to a much higher standard than what I think he had been held to before. And what, there was a lot of little things that I wanted him to get cleaned up that I think needed to happen if he was going to be a pro. He came back to school to be a guaranteed draft pick, and some of the stuff that we had talked about wasn't occurring at the level that we thought it needed to occur at. So, and I explained to his mother's been great. I've been texting her, throughout this run. Regina's unbelievable lady. She sends me, scripture verses, lets me know she's praying for us and God's blessings, on us. And I really appreciate the conversations I've had with her. But, kind of talking with her and with them both, I just said, listen, sometimes, it was for me when I was a kid. I didn't take stuff seriously until my parents took basketball away from me. Like, you want to discipline me, tell me I can't play basketball for a week or can't go to a basketball game, whatever it was. So, I told her sometimes you got to take the game away from them to let them know how serious it is. So we, take a week, think about what's important to you, where we want to get with this season. He came back. We met up the day after Christmas. I thought the meeting was great. I think he's been unbelievable ever since. Like, he's been the leader we needed him to be, stepped up and talked to guys. I challenged him kind of halfway through conference about his defensive leverage for the next 10 games. He had the highest defensive leverage on the team. He's, Herb gets defensive player of the year, but Petty's, I think Petty could have been on the all defensive team. I think he's been that good for half the conference game. So I think Petty's handled it well. Rojas obviously had a lot of injuries. He's had to fight through illness and all this other stuff. But, it obviously worked out. Doesn't always work out that way. And that's really a testament to John and the character that he showed when he came back and just what he's trying to be about as a senior. And he's been all about the right stuff. We got another question. Rachel, it's good to see you. I didn't know you were going to be on this one. Buffalo.
I'll go ahead and ask a question. Good to see you too. Congratulations on winning the SEC title and making the tournament. Figured we'd do an update from Buffalo here. Winning the SEC title and earning a berth in the NCAA tournament. What have you taken from the time that you worked at UB, and built that program into a contender? And what have you applied at Alabama over the last 2 seasons?
And my time at Buffalo was great. I loved it there. We didn't really necessarily want to move. Our kids enjoyed it there. Our family did, but we felt like this opportunity was too good to pass up. I think shooting year 2, you're already seeing what the potential of this place is. So I think that had a lot to do with the deciding factor when we decided to take this job. But what did I learn there? Well, conference tournaments, we won 3 out of the 4. I kind of getting guys ready to play their best basketball in March. I thought we did a pretty good job of that at Buffalo. I think we've done a good job of that here this year, just to be peaking, playing our best basketball when it's appropriate to play it. And it's just Buffalo gave me a chance to get experience as a Division I head coach. I'd only had high school experience as a head coach before. So worked for some great people there. Danny White hired me, Alan Green. Both are in the SEC now. Was my second boss. And, Mark, obviously, who's there now, did a great job. I had the time I was with him. So enjoyed my time there. Still pull for him, talk to Whitesell and Jamie and that staff. We texted all year, talked to them all year. I'm pulling for them in the NIT. Hopefully they can make a run there too. So
as a follow-up to that, what was the biggest challenge you faced in making the leap from the MAC to the SEC?
Well, I think the level of athletes a lot different. There's really good coaching in the MAC. I like the SEC, half the coaches in the SEC coaching a Final Four. But, the coaching was good in the MAC. There's NBA caliber athletes every single night out in the SEC. I think the SEC's got more draft picks than anybody in the league over the last however many years. So just you got to be ready. You got also the recruiting's obviously a lot different in the SEC than obviously it is in the MAC. So you got to work a little harder. You're in on some pretty good players. You got to get really good players to compete in this league. So those are probably the biggest differences. The travel's a little different too, Rachel. We jump on a nice big charter and we're in and back. No, there's no 8-hour bus rides here. Buffalo got a lot better as it went along there, but there were still a few of those 6-hour, 8-hour bus rides. And we don't have any of those here. I think this trip from Nashville, Indy was the longest bus ride I've taken since I've been here.
All right. Thanks, Nate.
Let's go to Jeff Spiegel next.
Hey, Nate, the teams that win
Go
this
ahead, Jeff.
tournament. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Nate, the teams that win this tournament, they usually have really good players and they usually have really, really good coaches. By now, your players know what they're doing from an offensive and defensive standpoint. What do you think is your most important role in terms of being a coach in a high pressure, big stage games like you're about to play?
Don't screw it up. I think coaches can get in the way a lot more than they can help them out at this point. Sometimes trying to overcoach is a lot worse than the alternative. I think you got to pump them up with a ton of confidence. I go back to my days at Buffalo. I had to convince them why they were going to beat Arizona. I had to convince myself first why I was going to beat why we were going to beat Arizona. Once I got myself convinced we could actually do it, I had to convince them. So with this one, it's a little different being a 2 seed. The first round, you got to make them aware of the fact that Iowa is more than capable of beating us, which I think we got a mature group that'll understand that. But then, you don't want to change too much. We got a whole week prep. You haven't had a week prep all year. It's 2-3 days and you're on, 2-3 days you're on. Now you got a week. Well, coaches can do a lot of tinkering in a week, which I think would be kind of stupid. So I think we're playing well for a reason. Let's go with what got us here. Let's pump a bunch of confidence into them. Let's stay sharp. Let's have good practices, and let's not change a whole lot. Calipari reached out to me yesterday, texted me. I called him back, and his advice was basically don't change much. Keep doing what you're doing. He's won a lot of tournament games. He's made some deep runs. So, I appreciate the guys in our league that have reached out to me that have a lot more experience doing this stuff than I have.
All right, we got time for just a few more questions so we can keep things moving. We'll start with Dan Walken first.
Yeah, Nate, just kind of watching you from afar, it seems like you've got a comfort level with a little bit of friction in this job, whether it's with you and opponents, other coaches, whatever. Have you always been like that? And going back to high school, and where does that come from?
I don't try to create friction. I'll say that. I'll say this. When I was at Romulus, nobody cared what I said. Now all of a sudden I say something. It's 30 minutes after I say it, it's all over the timeline on ESPN. Was it really that big a deal what I said? Apparently it is now. So I gotta get a little better filter. I think maybe. I'm not trying to create friction. That's not really who I am, but I also don't really have a good enough filter. Apparently, I guess I'm not versed enough in the in the coach speak, so per se in Division I basketball. But I'm gonna say what's on my mind, probably a little bit too much, to be honest with you. And that's probably not going to change. I probably got to do a better job of making sure it's not offensive to anybody. You know, I try to keep peace with everyone. I'll say this: all the guys in Detroit I used to compete really hard against have been texting me. I was still friends with them all. So whatever I said back in Detroit, I was still friends with all the guys I competed against. So hopefully, when this thing's all done, everybody that I've competed against, we can compete really hard against each other. All the coaches in the MAC have been reaching out to me too. So I don't feel like I've necessarily created enemies. I haven't tried. If I've ever said anything to offend anybody, I've tried to reach out to them, square it up, make sure they realize that it wasn't my intention. So my high school coaching competitors are still my friends. The MAC coaching competitors are still friends of mine. I just maybe I can get some lessons from you, Dan. You can help me figure out what to filter out, what's okay to say at this level and what's not. It probably makes better stories for you guys though, so you probably don't want me to get a filter. You probably all enjoy it.
Yeah, I was gonna say keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah.
Terry Tipton, go ahead.
Yeah, Nate, we like candor. So yeah, just put it out there. I wanted to ask you about your relationship with John.
Anybody that cheers for the Lions has to have a lot of candor in their life.
It's been a long ride, a long bumpy ride. I'm wondering your relationship with Cal. How surprising was it that he reached out to you? How far back do you all go?
Look, Cal's always been good to me. I always I've always got along well. I mean, he kicked our butt in the NCAA tournament when I was at Buffalo. He took biggest moment of my coaching career. 48 hours later, we're getting drilled by Cal after we beat Arizona. But look, he never recruited any of my guys at Romulus, but I always admired him. I was good friends with Hubie Brown's son, Brendan, from my days at 5 Star. So I used to go down and watch the Grizzlies training camp. When Cal was at Memphis, I'd go over there to their facility. I knew a little bit of, some of the assistants and whatnot. But, Cal's recruited Detroit a lot. I was up in Detroit, so I've known people that are tight with Cal and known him. And then when he was at Memphis and ran dribble drive, he was friends with Vance Wahlberg. I befriended Vance. He had a big influence on the way I like to play offense. I wouldn't have known who Vance was if it wasn't for Calipari kind of befriending him. So, I wouldn't say I was close friends with him, or probably still not, but definitely a lot of respect. And he's been great to me ever since I got into the SEC. I mean, I respect the job he did this year. I thought his kids were playing hard at the end. I mean, it's hard to keep your kids playing hard, when they've lost as many games, especially at a place like he's at, when they expect you to win national championship every year. So, this was not an easy year for him by any stretch, but I thought he did a great job. I thought he handled stuff well. I mean, they didn't try to shut down or eliminate games to COVID. He kept playing and just, kept his kids competing. So it was nice for him to reach out to me. He's been in this situation a lot more times than I have. So anybody that wants to give me some advice, I'm not real versed in being expected to win a lot of games in the NCAA tournament. I think maybe my last year at Buffalo, they expected us to win that first game as a 6 seed. That was about the only time when we were expected to win in the NCAA tournament. Now they got people as smart as Jay Billis picking us to go to the Final Four. I'm not used to being in that spot, that's for sure. Uh-oh, is Jerry still muted?
All right, let's finish up. Last question with Tim Booth.
Hey, Nate. I'm wondering how many of your players have seen Hoosiers, if you know, and is getting a chance to play at a place like Kinkle Fieldhouse with its history meaningful to you?
I didn't ask them. Based on what I think they watch, my guess would be probably about 1 or 2. Maybe Tyler Barnes from Kentucky. I don't know. It'd be a good question to ask him because maybe it'd be something we ask him before we walk into Hinkle. When I was at Romulus, we came down and played at Hinkle. It was pretty sweet. I've been in there. We practiced there when I was at Buffalo. I mean, that's got some nostalgia to it. You walk in, it's got the windows up there. It's like the old. Well, there you can ask Shaq. I saw Shaq just jump on, ask him if he's watched it. You can ask them next. But yeah, my guess would be not too many of them. Maybe we need to break that out. Do a team. Make sure we're social distance, 6 feet apart, and watch Hoosiers together or something. But we'll make sure we give them a little of the history behind Hinkle Fieldhouse. So before we practice there tomorrow before we play there Saturday.